Welcome, good morning. Insert greeting catchphrase here. I'm Mahet, and today we're going to be exploring what I've been up to on the housing PTR, and how to get decorations, or what to do with them. Kind of everything, we'll see. So as a Horde main, I've started out in Razorwind Shores, and I won't do the full tour, but I really expected, after seeing some content creators make their way around here, that I would want a spot up in the forest for my Forsaken main. And honestly, none of it really spoke to me. I think the idea of living in permanent autumn didn't sit right. So we've gone ahead and found a plot way to the south on the beach. Down over here. So if anyone's been on the PTR already, you can choose a spot kind of anywhere, but you can't move if you don't like it yet. So it's an interesting experiment to see what you think you like and what you actually like. Over on the Horde side, I think I've made the right call. I've got sort of a secluded beach with no houses around. You can see some people across the water. I've got a little suspension bridge. Everything here feels great. On the Alliance side, I've made some choices that I immediately regretted, but we'll get into that later. So, as we approach my plot, I've got quite a lot going on the outside. Currently, the decor limit is 200 on the exterior and 300 on the interior. I've maxed them both out. At the front, I've got sort of mishmash of Forsaken fencing with Borealis fencing. It's a lot of travel time right now to go around and explore where to get everything, and a lot of items are achievement locked. You may not have that achievement unlocked on your PTR character, or require specific legacy currency. Same problem. I don't have a lot of order resources or war supplies on this character, so I haven't been able to really stock up on the things that I wanted most, like that Forsaken fencing. But we've got a lot of plant life, an Orgrimmar style fountain. Most of the foliage, trees, flowers, etc. come from just the vendors in the housing zone. They're over in the town center, sort of where the quest icons are. And all of those are for gold, so we don't really have the issue of, did this character play Legion? Can I buy anything from Val'sharah? Apparently not. Everything here, is PTR, so it's a little off. Right now I can't actually walk up my house stairs or get in from this angle, so we can get in, but it takes some finagling, so we'll wait for that. I've got my little Forsaken setup over here. All of these items, surprisingly, were from the Honorbound Quartermaster at the docks in Zuldazar, not in Undercity. Undercity sells a few things, but the majority of the sort of, Forsaken aesthetic is from the BFA expansion, which sort of makes sense, but was a little confusing to find. We've got a lantern, barrels, some nice spooky flowers. Eventually, I would like to turn the actual house into something that looks a lot spookier and more Forsaken, but with the limited decor options on PTR and also like the hard limit of 200 items, I'm not sure how much I can actually change this. We'll get there one day. I've got a High Mountain Tauren canoe resting over here, ready to slide down the hill and into the ocean if I wanted to. You can't actually decorate this far out of your plot, but I like the idea of having a canoe there and ready. I will say, as you're decorating, it's pretty hard to see what the outer limits of your plot are. So if I enter the house editor and try to put something down, there's a grid, but the grid doesn't have an outer bound. So as I start walking towards the ocean, I just get kicked out of the editor, which can make doing fencing or these like border plants pretty tricky. Obviously we've made it work for the time being, but in the future it would be nice if they put like a hard line there so you understood exactly how far you could go. It's fine for now. I've got some Orgrimmar trellises, and then this lava lamp from the Shaman Order Hall. The Shaman, not just the Shaman, all the class halls from Legion have really cool stuff in them. The Monk Hall has a bunch of sort of monastery-esque things. The Mage one has a bunch of floaty tomes. What else? The Hunter class hall gives you a lot of sort of animal heads that you can mount on your wall, which is not quite my aesthetic, but there are a lot of choices there. I haven't been able to remove this yet. Yesterday it was bugged. I'm not much of a shaman player, so I just wanted to know what it would look like. Okay, there we go. I might save that for later on the Alliance side. You'll see why. Let's see. So yeah, some trees, Pandaren well. The Pandaren goods came a little bit from Half Hill Market. Gina Mudclaw sells a few things. And the August Celestial Quartermaster had a few. What else? I've seen other players with some pretty cool panda bookshelves, but I haven't found that vendor myself yet. I think right now we're all just flying randomly around the different zones hoping to stumble upon a decor vendor. So it is what it is. So I have to walk on the little edge of my stairs to get close to my door. I've been able to put some blight torches up just to start my spooky aesthetic. They're okay. They don't really put off the same like spooky energy I would like. And the house itself, aside from floating slightly above the ground and the stairs not working, if I try to customize the orcish exterior much more than I have already, it kind of has a life of its own, so I'm going to leave that alone for now. The sort of side towers wind up moving in front of the door, sort of their own accord, and then you don't have a door anymore. So I would like to be able to enter and exit. We're gonna go ahead and look inside. All right. So I do eventually want more of a plan for my house, but at this point, since, as I said, most people on the PTR are just running around sort of aimlessly looking for vendors, there's not a whole lot of cohesion. I've got a Suramar style fireplace in the corner. It's okay. Most of the walls are a mix of Silvermoon aesthetic and Belemeth. Broadly, the wall options are all really dark, and the only light options are the Blood Elf marble, which is like really, really bright. Kind of hoping they add some middle ground there, so it's not either brown or white marble. But we've got a little Forsaken dining table area set up here, some more of those spooky sconces, sort of High Mountain-esque shelf. The High Mountain Tauren have a lot of stuff on their vendor right now. I don't play a Tauren, but anyone who does should be pretty happy. We've got a Dalaran painting, a nice candelabra. This is from the Rogue Order Hall. I think this is what you click on to change your artifact appearance in the Rogue Order Hall. It's got some Forsaken energy, so it gets to stay here. Was playing around with more of the High Mountain decor. It's really nice. I don't know what I'll do with it ultimately, but there's a lot of it, and it would be a shame to just ignore it entirely. If we go over here, the interior door situation is pretty strange. The wall includes this Silvermoon like arch, and then the interior doors you have available don't seem to match that very well, so I've got this like orcish door, but we can go in. There are cobblestones that currently are only able to be placed inside. Don't know why, pretty strange, but they're leading to the bed at this point. We have a sort of writing desk, sort of orcish bench you could sit on, night elf bed. The Night Elf stuff comes from Belemeth, from Val'sharah, and not from Darnassus. If you want Gilnean stuff, you can go to Darnassus though, so that was confusing. Some Suramar sconces. I gotta say, a lot of the Suramar stuff doesn't look as Nightborn as I was expecting, but it is nice and it throws a lot of light, which is important because the walls, the floor, and the ceiling are so dark. I've created a sort of closet just with this curtain with some sort of roguey, spooky candles, notes, ransoms. This is about where I ran out of my decor allotment, so I wanted more going on in here, but if I turn on the editor, yeah, I'm at 299 of 300, you can see up in the corner, so it's not really any more I can do until we have access to the Renown track, which is here, if anyone's interested. You can see right now the interior placement budget is 300 items, the exterior is 200. I'm not really clear. I guess room placement is how many rooms you can have. I don't know why you would want 9 with only 300 available items to put in them. It would be pretty sad. And then fixture budget. This has got to be your inventory. Although that's not really clear to me. Anyways, as we progress this, we'll get more. I think the limit at Renown 5, yeah, is 825 for interior. And then, what was the exterior one? Not listed. Okay, that's not great. Yeah, they really need to add more to the exterior specifically. If you want to have like a garden of any description, you're gonna run out of room real fast. We can bounce around a little more. There's quite a few drape options. I've thrown up some sort of like Tauren ones here to cover up the Silvermoon Arch. I don't know. I'm really torn about the Blood Elf architecture. It's nice. It's one of the lighter options, so everything's not super gloomy, but there's a lot of gold for my liking. Placed a whole bunch of, I think this is all Suramar stuff over here just to see what it looks like. Got the marble floor, which is bright but pretty loud. Nice sort of Pandaren bar situation going on here. This table's really nice. Again, I don't play a panda, so I'm not sure if I'll ever use it, but we're checking it out. These lanterns are also Pandaren, so I've got them sort of on my way up the stairs. The staircase room itself is really dark, so I've had to spend a lot of my budget on these windows. And I think the lighting, just by and large, needs to improve. Like, obviously housing is incredible, we're all super excited, but so far, all of the windows are the sort of rustic wood. These ones are more like orc with the iron. These ones are more humid, but they're still pretty rustic. And all the light coming in is this blue, which I realize the sky is blue and outdoor light is technically blue, but it feels kind of spooky. You know, we're all spending a lot of time in Legion Remix right now, so it's sort of saying like mauve souls, like spooky wisps. I don't know. It's not very cozy, and they're all leaving something to be desired. You can get these Borealis string lights. Can't remember. I think these were actually from Borealis proper, the quartermaster by the harbor. They're fine. They're really cute, but they don't really give off any light. So, I mean, broadly, my point is that everything's kind of gloomy, and I would love more fixtures that throw a lot of light. This sort of orcish candelabra is one of the, that's not a candelabra, chandelier, is one of the brighter objects. I'm not sure why it's floating in space right now. Weird. But it's not really my taste, so... Okay, this is gonna drive me crazy. Can we fix this? Yeah. Okay, hopefully it stays there. I don't know what's going on. What was I saying? Yeah, everything's just really dark. Basically, everything needs more light. I shouldn't need a little fireplace. Fireplace is generous. That's a bucket with some fire in it to keep my bathtub warm or bright, to be able to see what I'm doing. But there are a lot of nice decorations. We've got this cool like Tuscar netting. That'll be really great. The books are super nice. I've got more of those in my Alliance house we can look at. This room divider that you see in like a lot of night elf dwellings is really good. I hope they give us more of this. The interior wall panels that you see here are really handy, but it's nice. I don't know, I'm just a sucker for a room divider. But yeah, this is about as large as I could make things with what we have unlocked right now. Did a lot of running around to all the vendors I could find, and now I can't really use everything that I found because I've hit the decor limit. So we've got tons of stuff here. It's interesting that the renown track suggests the inventory limit is 1,000 items, but this doesn't seem to tell me how many items I own. So hopefully they sort that out. But look at, like, there's this whole forge from the Zara lore, super cool. Honestly, a lot of the Zandalari stuff is really neat. There's sort of Nightborn chest is really nice. Lots of lanterns, sconces. Here's some of the like hunter class hall animal heads you can add. Let's go to an open wall for that. The library of items itself is pretty hard to see. I'm kind of hoping they fix that as well. There's a lot of like dark on dark in this library panel. We've got our Portal of Damnation that can only be outside. What else? There's Soul Forge, which is pretty cool if you're a Death Knight. Might need that somewhere. Chronicle of Ages, this is from the Monk class hall, it's really cool. It's enormous, I'm not really sure why. In my Alliance house I placed one and I had to scale it down a lot. Got some books. I think this is also from some of the class halls. This one looks pretty Death Knight-y. Yeah, this would be from the Warrior class hall. It's enormous. But, I mean, I'd have to start removing things, and it seems like some items cost more than one of the 300. So where a lamppost maybe is like 1, I bet that Valajar tablet is like 5 or something. It doesn't seem to say that anywhere, but that's sort of the problem I'm running into, where it says I have like 1 available spot left, but I haven't really found anything small enough to place other than like a candle maybe. We've got like rickshaws, all kinds of cool stuff. They're gonna need to crank the decor limit, honestly. But this is the Horde house as it stands today, and I'm pretty happy with it as just I'm messing around, seeing what we can do for the PTR, but it's a bit dark and you fill it up super fast. So we'll see what it's like in December when it's live. All right, I go back outside. Didn't really need to, but it'll drop you on your signpost. It seems like for the most part, people in this neighborhood haven't done a lot of exterior decorating. This guy's got something cool, I assume from Undermine. I haven't been able to find where that's from. It looks like from Liberation of Undermine, probably. But everyone else seems to have just plopped a house down, maybe added a couple of these additions, and then not put any actual trees or plant life outside, which is disappointing. I'm excited for live when people are putting a lot of effort into things and we can see what, I don't know, what creativity comes out. There was a house with the shaman glow lamp, lava lamp somewhere that I really liked. But I guess he took that out because it was over here somewhere and I don't see it. The horde houses can definitely get pretty cool. This guy's done a nice job making it look less horde. Obviously has more patience than I do because I just found the exterior to be super buggy and I didn't want to mess with it anymore. But this is sort of more Tauren, I guess, than what I've got going on. Maybe it's a Tauren main. They've got like a nice little canoe over here. Yeah. So we'll see. There's not a whole lot else, again, in this neighborhood that other neighbors have put together, so we can go check out the Alliance one. It's something you can do with your Horde characters if you want. You just go to this drop-down menu in the housing panels. It's the default keybind H, and then choose between them. Cracked Sun Oasis is my Horde plot, and then Clearwave Harbor is the Alliance one, and then this is your teleport to plot button. Mounted. I've been finding this really cumbersome. The cooldown is like 15 minutes, and if you're a Horde character, there's no other way to get to your Alliance house, and vice versa. So yesterday when I was decorating and interacting with other people in the neighborhood, we were trying to like show each other our plots, but you kind of had to wait 15 minutes or like log on to a new character to get to them both. So I don't know, they need like separate hearthstones or something. It's kind of cumbersome with the neighborhoods being these little pocket dimensions. But anyways, we've arrived at my Alliance plot. So as a Forsaken main, I was pretty excited by this like Duskwood part of the neighborhood. Right away I was like, well, I need a plot right across from the graveyard, you know? What else would I do? And as I was looking at the neighborhood finder when I first logged in, it's just here, the house finder. For the most part, oh, maybe it'll only show me Horde ones because I'm on a Horde character, but in most neighborhoods, all of the sort of eastern section of the map, all these plots were taken. Like everyone was just flocking to the spooky Duskwood zone, including myself, and I hate it. It's too dark. I have spent all of my time decorating trying to add more light to this zone. Originally I had a whole bunch of these night elf lanterns that, as you can see, throw basically no light. So I managed to replace a couple of them with these Suramar like street lamps, but they're really expensive. You have to buy those with Legion Order resources and gold, and this character just doesn't have enough. And they're still not that bright. So we come in, I've put some candles down on the fountain, again, to just try and like brighten it up. I don't mind it being gloomy, but I do want to be able to like see where I'm going. We've got some, I think these were Gilnean street posts at the front door. This one you actually can walk up the stairs, which is great. But I don't know, it's all just like too gloomy. I think on live when it comes out, I won't be choosing one of these Duskwood plots. It sounded like a great idea, but it just isn't for me. I was gonna see how